I've got 2 reasons for you today why I feel like you absolutely must raise your pricing. This is really contextual depending on what your current prices look like, where you're at as far as like the value that you're providing and what your market looks like. So you're gonna need to take this information and kind of think about it and say, does this make sense for the situation that we're in? I believe that raising your pricing, it actually gives your client a better experience. When you have a higher priced item, there is an unspoken conveyance of value. You naturally tend to think about it in higher regard. If you think about like purse from Burlington Coat Factory or from Walmart, you would assume that maybe the purse is within $20 to $100. When you think about a purse that is from Gucci or Coach, you're thinking and your mind immediately goes to $100 plus. And there's this idea out there that those things, maybe they're not better, but you hold them in higher regard. In your mind, you know, the purse from Target might be here and it might be very functional and might be practical. But when you think of something that's designer, you're thinking about it a little bit of a higher tier, right? You're thinking about it categorically that it's of a little bit more importance. You know, maybe it's not gonna be the thing that you use every single day. The thing is, price tends to determine value and our perception of value. I think it's really important to explain and clearly document what the value that you're providing is. And this is so important because you can't just say, I'm gonna charge this high price for no good reason. You actually do need to have value that you're providing. You need to be able to execute on the value. But what happens when you do raise that price up is you convey a higher level of value. And then when someone is paying a higher price, they're going to be more bought in, they're going to be more inclined to get everything they can out of the experience. So whether this is coaching, whether this is your venue, whether this is photo video, the people that are going to be willing to pay higher are really focused on value, they're focused on saving time, and they're focused on the experience. When you do this, you get a different type of client. You get an invested client. You get a client that is really passionate about what you're doing and working together, and that is a completely different type of client than a client who has just, you know, maybe thrown a couple $1,000 at something because the price of entry was so low that it feels easily replaceable. And with weddings and events, we're dealing in things that are not common. We're dealing in things that are once in a lifetime events. We're dealing with these big emotional purchase decisions. And so it's very important for us to have a price that really supports and conveys the level of value that we want to be able to provide for our client. Reason number 2 is when you charge a higher price, it allows you to build in infrastructure that you would likely not be able to offer otherwise. When you have a higher price, it allows you to hire more employees. It allows you to pay for systems that maybe you wouldn't be able to pay for otherwise. It allows you to be able to really fulfill your promises to your clients. And it allows you to position yourself a little bit different as a business owner, where you're able to take some of that money, you're able to hire someone, and then you as the owner are able to focus on the vision of the company, pushing the company forward, acquiring new clients, and providing better and better services and products for the people that you are serving. You can't just arbitrarily say, hey, for my coordination services, it's gonna be $50,000. But if you did say, hey, my coordination services are $50,000, what types of events would you have to do or coordinate for a client to pay you $50,000? It really changes the discussion. That event might be like a massive conference. That might be like a huge showcase. That might be like a big convention, right? There are people who are absolutely making, you know, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 on their venue rental price. But you have to ask yourself the question, if I want to charge that much, what am I including, right? Where is the value? And so when you start thinking about that, you start realizing that you need to completely reposition your business in order to support that price point. And if that's really what you want to do, you need to start living and breathing and understanding what the needs are of the client who's going to be purchasing that. And you need to start being able to deliver on those promises that you're making. Let's say you have a venue, right? Maybe it's a little bit of a smaller venue. You may not be able to support an extremely high price because of your market, because of the availability of your product or your service to your target market. So you are going to need to think about some of those things and just understand market fit is really important. Now, where you can start charging more money is on the experience, right? You can find ways to craft incredible experiences for your clients that are worth more money, but you may have to leave maybe your venue rental rate a little bit lower, but then craft an incredible experience that is worth them paying more and clients are willing to fly in or drive in to be able to experience what you have. But that might take some more investment, right? So it really changes the discussion for yourself, for your team around what you want to offer. But I think that there is so many incredibly positive things about raising your prices. And those are just 2 that we covered here today. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I love this topic because I think it's so relevant to all of our businesses and it makes a big difference. So thank you for joining me today, and we will see you all in the next video.
you.